Hello students, this is Mrs. Miller, and this week we're going to be studying character and point of view. So we're going to start our lesson. I want to do the introduction of point of view with you, okay? I'm going to go ahead and use the textbook right here online. You can do the same. You're looking at my teacher screen right now. You're only going to see one textbook, either the 6th grade or the 7th grade, depending on which grade you're in, okay? I'm going to go ahead and click Go to the online textbook, and you'll be able to do the same. Or you can use the paper copy in the classroom, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go to select a chapter. We're going to be on Unit 2, so I'm going to go to Unit 2, Analyzing Character and Point of View. And I'm going to go over here to Text Analysis Workshop. And then I'm going to click Go. Now you're going to see all of these different things that come up. Character and Point of View, Part 1, Who Tells the Story. This is the page. This looks exactly like the page that you would see in the textbook if that's what you're using. I'm going to scroll over here and let's take a look. Let's go through this together. It says character and point of view. Now here are the Common Core standards that we're going to be focusing on this week. Included in this workshop: describe how a story's characters respond or change as the plot moves toward a resolution. The past few weeks we studied plot and the stages of plot, so now we're going to be identifying or analyzing how a character is throughout the story and how he or she changes. We're also going to be able to explain how an author develops the point of view of the narrator in a text. Well, that's a lot, so we're going to start first with Standard 6, and we're going to look at these definitions and be able to determine what point of view is and the different points of view that an author uses. Let's read together. Characters in literature can be just as fascinating as people in your own life. Like real people, characters can be painfully shy, rude, or courageous. Some characters instantly draw you in, while others get on your nerves. Why do you react so strongly to the people you meet on the page? When writers use the elements of character and point of view skillfully, they create believable characters. Read on to learn more about character and point of view. Part 1. Who tells the story? Suppose two of your closest friends get into a heated argument. You heard about the argument from each friend and from an innocent bystander who overheard every word. How would the three accounts differ? As the example shows, who tells a story is just as important as what that story is about. In literature, the narrator is the voice that tells the story. A writer's choice of narrator is known as point of view. So there are two of our vocabulary words for this week. The first one here is narrator, and it told us the narrator is the voice that tells the story. And the other word is right here. It's point of view. Point of view is the choice. A writer's choice of narrator is known as the point of view from which the story is told. So that's what we're going to be studying in this first lesson. Okay, let's continue on. This chart explains 2 points of view. The first point of view is called first person point of view. In first person point of view, the narrator is a character in the story. The narrator uses the pronouns I, me, and my to refer to himself or herself. So instead of using his or her name, the narrator uses the words I, me, or my. So imagine that you are telling a story. You would say, well, yesterday I went to school and my friends and I sat down together and had lunch. Then when it was my turn so do you see how instead of using your name, you're using these pronouns I, me, and my, and that's first person point of view. The narrator tells his or her own thoughts and feelings in his or her own voice. The narrator does not know what other characters are thinking and feeling. The narrator just knows how he or she feels. And you can see from this graphic right here that in first person point of view, the narrator is in the story telling the story. Let's read an example. I was flying along when I spotted sparks exploding on the street below. The evil shock blaster was attacking innocent people. Time for me to come to the rescue again. Angry and annoyed, I realized that talented superheroes like me never get the day off. So you can see right here that the narrator is not using his or her name. I see the pronoun I right here, and here it is again. Let me circle them for you. Remember, a pronoun is a word that takes the place of the person's name. So this pronoun right here, I, then this one here, lets me know that the point of view, that the narrator, the character in the story is telling the story. Let's slide over and look at third person point of view. Let's go up just a bit and we'll look at third person point of view. In third person point of view, the narrator is not a character in the story. So you can see with this graphic right here, the narrator is outside of the story and just looking in, telling us what's happening. The narrator uses the pronouns he, she, and they to refer to the characters. The narrator also uses the character's actual name. That's not written, but that's something that you should know. Instead of using I, the character's name is used. The narrator can reveal the thoughts, opinions, and feelings of one or more characters. So let's take a look at this example. As dynamite zoomed toward the explosion, a billion thoughts raced through his mind. He wondered why villains always started trouble on his day off. From a roof above the panicked crowd, Shock Blaster saw dynamite swooping across the sky toward him. Him again? Shock Blaster muttered. So let's go through and take a look and see what the difference is between the first person point of view and the third person point of view. Like I said earlier, in first person point of view, it's a character in the story who's telling the story. And I had circled these pronouns right here to let us know that it's first person point of view. Now you might be wondering, well, you say to yourself, I see that Shock Blaster's name is used in that first person point of view, which it is, but that's because Shock Blaster is a different character. Okay, so there are two characters in this scenario. One is the narrator referring to him or herself as I, and the other one is Shock Blaster. Now let's take a look at the third person point of view example. In this one, instead of I see the word dynamite, so I'm going to circle that. And I see the word his, the pronoun his, and I see the pronoun he. From a roof, Shock Blaster saw, there's the name again, dynamite, instead of I. And then I see the pronoun him. Now, there's something to point out. I'm noticing here that there are some quotation marks. I know that you all Mrs. Stanley taught you all about dialogue, and you see quotation marks. We don't pay any attention to what is in the quotation marks when we're determining if it's first person or third person point of view. We're just looking at the narration, not looking at the dialogue. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to just put a red X on this so we remember that we are not paying attention to the dialogue, just the narration. All right? Okay, now you can still see that Shock Blaster's name is used right in here. So we still have two characters. One character is Dynamite, and the outside narrator is telling us what Dynamite is thinking and doing. The narrator is also telling us what Shock Blaster thinks. Oh, there's Shock Blaster's name is used again. But then on the other side here, the narrator is a first-person narrator. Now that we have gone through this together, I would like for you to fill in the note-taking page. Let me show you how to get to the note-taking page in case you lost the one that you were given in class. If you go right here to Student Resources, you can just click right on it. I'm sorry, let me erase these distracting marks very quickly. I love this online textbook because the materials that we use in class, they are right here for you to find in case you misplaced yours. Okay? Or if you were at home sick and you weren't able to come to school, you could still do exactly what we're doing. So you can click right here on Note-Taking Part 1, and it pulls up this PDF file. You could print it out. Unfortunately, we're not able to type right in it, but you could print it out by going right here, and then you can fill it in. Now, you are using The information from the page we just covered, you can go back to book pages right here. It's the information from this page to fill in your notes. Okay? You're going to just read through it again and fill in your notes that way. If you prefer a paper copy, you can go to Student Resources and click on Student Edition, and your page is right here. Okay? Let's go ahead and get this done.